On this week's episode of the CVG Off the Record podcast, we talk about the Titanfall controller and our favorite gaming merchandise, discuss Steam Early Access as well as our experiences with DayZ and Rust, and look forward to next month's big games, including The Wolf Among Us Episode 2, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, and Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the CVG Off the Record podcast. My name is Tamoor Hussain and I am joined in the studio by Andy Robinson.
Hello.
Chris Scullion.
Sup.
And a new voice, CVG's resident video troublemaker, Gav Murphy.
Hello. Is it only 6 you've done of these? It seems like you go on about it so much that it feels like
I cringe every time he mentions it by number.
Yeah.
Like, is it definitely the 6?
It's definitely 6. I always check it. And I listen to enough podcasts where they spend about 20 minutes trying to remember what number it is that I noted down beforehand. But if you don't count the Game of the Generation podcast, this is number 6.
Which makes it like number 26.
Yeah, technically it's 11, but yeah.
So let's kick off this week with the big news. Huge news. I don't know if you guys know it, but there is a Titanfall controller coming out.
Shit.
Is that huge news?
It is massive currently.
I could not give
news.
less of a shit about that.
From all the talk before this podcast about your passion for novelty mugs.
Yeah, mug, fair enough. Not
so
a
if they brought out a Titanfall latte cup, you'd be all over that shit.
Although actually, I've still got my Resident Evil 2 controller, my PS1 controller. You know the one they
chainsaw?
released.
The
with that?
chainsaw?
No, not the chainsaw. The Resident Evil when it came out for 2.
Oh,
when
2.
2 came out, and it was like it was a specialized for Resident Evil thing. So like run and dash were in special place, and like trigger was an actual trigger. It's an amazing controller for playing Resident Evil, but only for playing Resident Evil. As I think you can play anything else with it. But I've still got that. It's pretty good.
Is that your most prized possession in terms of gaming tat?
Yeah, I reckon so. I think like a tat or controllers.
Wait, like gaming peripheral tie-in
I'll tell you
memorabilia,
my favourite
whatever.
controller, which I still have back in Scotland, is when they brought out Wu-Tang Taste of Pain on PlayStation, and it came with a Wu-Tang shaped controller.
Yeah, I remember that.
That thing is so uncomfortable to play. But it was fucking. It's just like a big Wu-Tang symbol with buttons on it.
I remember wanting it, but then not buying it because I realised that I probably wouldn't be able to play the game that it's made for.
Yeah, it's so uncomfortable to play, but it looks.
I've got the Hotline Miami jacket that Insert Coin Clothing did. I wear that every single day.
It's hardly something to be proud of. Like,
That's also
about 1 billion people probably have that.
Well, no, I've never seen anybody else wear it, and if I did, I would beat them up.
Take it off, take the clothes off.
On the
Hotline Miami style.
On the nerdometer, that's almost as close as Scullion's new Mario bed covers.
Yeah. I got them as a Christmas
You're a married
present.
man.
I saw that and I thought, how the hell does he get away with that?
Well, that's it. There's a lot of bargaining. I just basically said, "Look, I got these as a present." I says, "Come on." And she went, "Yeah, all right, fair enough." I was like,
You didn't really get them as a present, did you?
No, I
there is
genuinely
no
did.
Uncle Phoebus.
Yeah, he spent all his stars on it. His Club Nintendo stars on it. It's like, yeah, it's a present from Mario.
As if someone as awesome as that would end up on Club Nintendo. Although that Luigi's Mansion statue was genius.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah, on Club Nintendo.
How much is it? Probably about 4 weeks.
I had to spend all of my stars, which is like 6 years worth of stars.
Yeah.
It's like 7,000 stars.
I got 7,000.
Oh, he's probably gone now, to be honest, mate.
Piss.
The thing about the Club Nintendo is they put like one thing that's worth buying on it every 2 years.
Yeah,
then everyone buys it, and then you have to wait another 2 years.
I bought the SNES Wii controller, and I didn't realize, like, I was not into like Club Nintendo stuff, and then I went onto the website and it's like, you need stars. I was like, what the fuck these stars things all about? And then I noticed that they were in every game, and at the time I worked at Game, so whenever pre-orders would come in, like people trading in their Wii and DS games, I used to teeth the shit out of those stars. So, but I got enough stars to buy the controller within a day.
It's quite satisfying to do it like that because I only signed up for Club Nintendo maybe
satisfying.
6 months ago.
Pain in the ass. You have to fill a survey.
Then instead of going, I've only got like 500 stars, I need like 7 million for this. I only signed up about 6 months ago, so I just went through 6-10 years worth of DS and like Wii games.
Yeah,
I tell you what's satisfying. It's in a similar vein. When you buy a second-hand game from CEX or somewhere like that, and it's like a limited edition one that comes with download codes, and you're almost certain those codes are going to be used, and then you type them in just for the hell of it, and they haven't been used, and you think, what silly prick didn't use those codes?
Last time I went to CES and bought something from CES, it was a GameCube. I couldn't find my GameCube, so I was like, well, "Let's go buy one." And then they were like, it was like 10 quid.
You couldn't find your GameCube.
Yeah, I know. I put it away somewhere, but now I found it, and now I've got 8 of them in my
house.
Put
it away in a cube shaped box.
I went and bought one just because I was like dying to play.
That's an interesting talking point. Who's got the most of the same console?
I actually have 8 GameCubes.
8 GameCubes.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Mad.
They just came to me from here and there. I think I got a couple from here. Like there was a point where we were throwing away GameCubes, and I was like, I can't see that console.
You'd be on like away. Ultimate Hoarders or something.
Well, that conversation didn't last as long.
You can't.
I've got 8 GameCubes. I've got 4 PSPs.
Why?
These days, you know what it is? A lot of them, like PSPs.
You need to start looking for stuff better, right? And not giving up.
I'm going to CES.
The first one. I feel like playing
I think it's under the bed.
In Africa who have no.
No, I can't find my PSP. I think it's under the bed. Fuck it, eBay.
Yeah, I felt really. I've
done that. You know what? I do that a lot. When I can't find something, I look at how cheap it is to buy it.
Any shipping requests? Bring it to my bed.
I felt really lazy like a couple of years back because I wanted to watch at Christmas time. I wanted to watch Scrooge, and I know I have Scrooge on DVD, but I couldn't find it on my fucking giant shelves. So instead of doing that, I think I paid like $2.98 to watch it on demand on Virgin, and then found it like
do you know what,
10 minutes later.
That's a completely different argument. Like you could accredit £2.98 to effort. Like I would pay £3 for someone else to find me the DVD now.
Yeah, it winds people up because like I've got something daft, like just over 1,000 DVDs that are not alphabetized. It's just like I've moved them. I counted them when I moved last time. I was like, I've watched one of these in the past 5 years, and that's Step Brothers, which is just watched constantly, and it's always by my PS3.
That's my vice is DVDs and now Blu-rays. Like when I was at uni, I blew all my student loan on DVDs, and like the loan would come in like once every few months, and I'd just go straight to HMV and just fucking empty it, and then sit in poverty for the next 3 months with like surrounded by shit horror DVDs.
Never been a DVD man.
Yeah,
like there'd be say 30 films that I'd say are my definitive favourite films, and I'd make sure I own them, right? So I've rebought them on Blu-ray and stuff. But the thing about DVDs for me is that how many films are there out there that you're willing to watch twice, or then maybe 3 times?
There's a
collection. So you buy Star Wars
though.
again, and you buy like Godfather again, and stuff like that. It's not the same as games where you go out and buy a physical thing, knowing you're probably going to like it, and it's your first experience. You wouldn't go out and buy loads of like old games, would you? Because you've probably seen these films in the cinema. That's the point.
Because that's the thing. I as soon as I'm finished with a game, I'm get rid of
exactly.
it. Yeah. Like, do you have?
So you imagine if
you
you played that
in
game
house?
in a cinema.
I have a room full of games.
Yeah,
it is like top to bottom.
Yeah, I've got a room.
But is it kind of more of a pride in being a film buff? I think that if you've watched a film, you put it on the shelf, and it's like that's a record of part of your.
When people come around
history.
and they see it, they're like, "Oh, this guy's a very smart."
Films 3 copies had never been kissed.
Because such a wider range of people.
Film.
Because such a wider range of people watch films, when people come to your house and see your DVD collection, they can tell what sort of a person you are. But if they look at your game collection, they might not know because he's got DJ Hero plus he's got fucking.
Oh, he's got Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, 4.
This man is an assassin.
I don't buy DVDs at all, but I'll buy like weird things, like shit films.
Dildos.
Like I bought Street Fighter, the Van Damme one,
Nice.
not dildos, Van Damme one for £1 on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Because it was a misprice at a game where I worked, and I was like, I'm having that. No one else is having that.
That's all right.
So
It's
I've
an
got
amazing
that.
film though.
Yeah, it's a brilliant film. But then like other stuff, sometimes I'll buy like box sets. That's what I'll buy, box sets. So like I've got Akira or special editions. I've got Akira special edition of that, Blade Runner, the Vengeance trilogy. That's about it really. Saving Private Ryan. That's about it.
What were we talking about?
Talking about
Gaming tab.
Yeah. So I've got 8 GameCubes,
8 gaming cubes,
4 PSPs, 3 PlayStation 2s.
And no Uyas.
Two PlayStation
So no,
1s.
let's revise
This
this.
is what happens.
Let's revise this. How many of those did you purchase?
I purchased 2 GameCubes.
Right.
Rob 6 from Future.
No. These are what happens.
If you're
this is
listening.
what happened. Firstly, you told me to take these out of here, otherwise they're gonna get thrown away. So I did that 7 times. And then what happens is I bought 2 PSPs one PlayStation and one PlayStation.
We should only include ones that we've purchased.
And and then what happens is other people will buy one, and then over time they find, all right, I'm done with this now, and they'll just give it to me.
At which point,
I've got 3 GameCubes, and I've got that Panasonic GameCube as well.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm just being a bit Phoenix right here. You bought you bought a GameCube for a tenner at CEX.
Yeah.
How many did you have at that point?
Because
you must have had more.
They're all
than
in storage. That's the thing. Like they're in a
storage,
box,
like underneath the ground, just in case.
So it wasn't a case that you couldn't find your GameCube.
I couldn't find any.
So you couldn't find one of your 6 GameCubes.
Yeah, my game console collection was like hidden somewhere in the back of my cellar. So I was like, oh,
that's amazing that you can't find. That's amazing when you can't find.
Tamoor Hussain,
the
Joseph Fritzl of the gaming
The point
world.
of this story was like I bought a GameCube from CEX for a tenner, and inside was Double Dash.
That's a very definition of a first world problem. World problem that you can't find your 6 GameCubes, so you have to buy a 7th one.
I'm sure I've got a load of N64s. But then there's reason to do that because I'd have different region ones. I've got like an American one, a UK one, and a Japanese one.
I've got that disgusting Pokemon one.
I was more
that thing's hideous.
I was more a colour collector, so I had a black one and that green see-through one and stuff like that.
But if you're a colour collector, there were some awesome GameCube colours. Like between
I really like the orange ones out there.
They only released those in Japan as well, so they're awesome. There's a silver one.
One of those is actually mine, by the way. One of those, the stack of that. So I've got 9 GameCubes.
So the black and indigo
storage.
John, what's the rarest GameCube colour? They brought out a few limited editions in Japan.
The rarest one is
like a chive.
The rarest one.
Yeah, there is like a chive symphonia.
I think the rarest one is I think it's a Hanshin Tigers, the baseball that has their logo on it. And
that was all over the place. It looks like a Newcastle, like Geordie GameCube.
I've got my footrest underneath my desk is a Panasonic 3DO, which is.
Hey, Mike Jackson's got the. It's got the Panasonic one.
Yeah. So.
You've got one.
Yeah. I bought it with my student loan. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Putting that student loan to work.
Actually, this is what happens when I was at uni. I got a student loan. Entirety of it had to go on books because the books were so expensive. So
what did you do?
I did law, so it's all these books, ancient books, just impossible to find online. You have to buy them. Legit, I couldn't
it's
find
fine
any
because you're using your degree, aren't you, in your everyday life?
Yeah, I guess.
Play Phoenix, right?
Right.
On the
stories about
of,
Borderlands 2 DLC. Well,
on the subject of
fucking hell, you're really making me feel good, innit? my mum listens to it, she's gonna be like, yeah, that kid, he knows. He knows.
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
I think we've digressed now.
I was going to say Andy's got an awesome collection of Zelda games, haven't you? You were talking about
I've been to Japan twice now. Like, just as a holiday, because obviously everyone has to have a pilgrimage. And when it was the first time I went out there, it was about 2008 maybe, and that was on the cusp of the games industry kind of properly shifting towards the West. Like all the awesome game stuff now is basically made in the West, whereas when we were growing up, we would have like fantasized about going to Japan and having awesome cool shit. So I got there fully ready to get all the awesome cool shit. What can I get? It's like, well, not much really. All out your games are made in Redmond now. Like you can get you can
go to Vancouver for that.
You can get Deus Ex Human Revolution with Japanese subtitles if you want. No thanks. So I just started buying old shit. So I bought up all the old Zelda games. Mint.
One of my prized possessions is the Street Fighter you bought me from Japan. That's just
like original. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's mint, like untouched. It's just
they look after their stuff.
Yeah,
they look after their stuff.
My
shops and shops of mint condition for I can't. I've got Zelda 1, right? Famicom. What's that? 1986. It's brand fucking new. Brand new. Like it's shiny.
It's almost. It looks like a reprint. It's just like it's untouched.
Yeah.
Awesome. To be fair, some of them do actually get found in the back of a warehouse. Like there are some. I remember going out there in some of the Super Potato shops. They'd have a section where it's like, we've just found these in a warehouse, like Donkey Kong Country or something, like brand actual new. Yeah. But the majority is just really well looked after. I mean,
Japan for you, innit?
I'd love to go there. I think if I went there, I'd spend
Didn't
all
you spend all your money? You didn't have any money to get back.
Yeah, that's right. I went to. That's true. This is my first. This sounds like a made-up story, but 100% true. The first time I went to Japan, it was with THQ to see the WWE game on Wii, which wasn't that good. But Yeah, and one day everyone just said, right, just go your own way and go wherever you want. So I said, I'm going straight for Akihabara because that's that, like you say, when you're young, that's the dream place you want to go because that's the one you read about in the magazines and stuff. So I went there and found that Super Potato Shop where they do all the retro games and just fucking, you can imagine someone just putting their arm on a shelf and going, just emptying the shelf. That was basically me. So I stocked up on all these Famicom games and some Space Channel 5 on Dreamcast with a big kind of shiny cover, and I was, that's just amazing, getting all this shit. Awesome. And then spent, like, pretty much checked my pocket, see how much money I had, and spent it all on that. And then realised I didn't have money to get the train back to my hotel. And my hotel was like the other side of Japan, the other side of Tokyo even. The other side, I was like, fuck. And it was literally a case of finding money on the street. Seriously, that's the bit that sounds, it was literally like finding coins on the road.
Mario covers.
When you return one of those games.
No, but I didn't speak Japanese. I come back and go, yeah, I don't want this, mate. That doesn't work. Yeah. So it was literally hours spent walking around Akihabara looking on the floor for coins, and that was the most miserable experience
with
of
a
my
bag
life.
full of awesome Nintendo games.
I finally scraped together enough for a single train ticket back to Shibuya, which is where the hotel was. And I went to the hotel and realised I had no more money, so I went and asked the woman at the bank. I says, I've got this fucking shitty Switch card. I think it was Switch at the time.
How old are you? Like 14?
No. This is my first big.
This was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no. I was like maybe. I just moved to London, so I was still pretty green. And yes,
little boy in a big city.
Exactly. So I said to Mum, how can I take money out of this card? So she looked it up and found there's like only a handful of cash machines in Tokyo that took this fucking Switch card, and one of them was just round the corner. So I was like, okay. So I took more money out and went straight back to Super Potato.
Same thing happened again.
I kept a wee stash in my other pocket just to make sure that it didn't happen again. But yeah, I was proper maniac, absolute maniac.
Crazy.
It's like sending an alcoholic to a brewery.
It basically was. It was like, this guy's obsessed with video games.
At what point did they say, no, sir, we're not giving you any more money?
Yeah.
Clear off. Just come back
I'm
here
cutting you off
with more Mario Pez dispensers.
Yeah, so that's in other words, but back to the original point, that Titanfall controller looks a bit shit.
Oh yeah,
we didn't even talk about the controllers. I was going to tell you, I've got like a big, because I've moved house quite recently. All of my stuff is like pretty much together. I've got a big crate just full of controllers. The best one's got to be the GameCube keyboard controller. So it's like
for fantasy stuff.
The controller is kind of like it's been the controls have been separated by about a meter or a foot, and there's a keyboard in the middle, and so it's for fantasy style online. It's quite good. It's quite lightweight. You play the game.
I saw everyone losing their shit about this Titanfall controller, though.
Yeah, some people, it's like it was described earlier as a Marmite controller.
Gav, there's not much going on at the moment.
Yeah, there's nothing happening right
now. It's just a novelty that it's the first kind of alternative Xbox One controller.
I think it's going to sell for what? Like, they're not going to charge
$65. It's $65, they've said, so whatever that is in pounds.
It's 45 quid.
It's hideous.
The one thing that I did, the one controller I did like was, do you see all the people who work for Microsoft get those
white ones?
The white ones saying like you thanks, or I made this, or I made this, or something like that. Yeah, I saw people tweet about that. That's a controller to get, isn't it? Not like something with a bit of yellow paint on it.
Like the day one bundles. That annoys me now because it looks like it's a nice black controller, and in the middle it's just got like some beige text that says day one. Every time I see it,
the ones I brought back from Japan, the first time I went, the Japanese Club Nintendo GameCube pads, the Mario ones, they're quite cool. Because we used to play Mario Kart every lunchtime, so I bought everyone a controller branded as the character they use. So, like, we got Mario, Luigi, Wario.
I'd say there's Wario.
Don't know. I think I dabbled in Wario for a little bit. The thing is, it's infuriating because Wario... There's no point using the heavy characters in Mario Kart Wii because they've got higher top speed, but you get spanked on your ass so much in that game that the acceleration just comes down to acceleration. You're not going to be going long enough in a straight line. But I'm digressing.
Wario is actually my favourite of the Mario universe characters. Yeah, because he's just basically an ugly troll.
He's a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I love him. So yeah, Titanfall controller. It's ugly. If you want one, go buy one.
Yeah. Well,
if anyone out there says we can't make a conversation out of nothing,
take a look at this. All right. So another big talking point right now is Steam Early Access. There's not a lot of games out right now officially. Like nothing big being released on Xbox One, PS4, even last-gen systems. But there's a lot of stuff coming to early access. Are you guys like looking into early access? Or?
I've used early access.
Not at all, no.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just
I think it's a dirty scam.
Well, no, it'll get that way. It's getting a bit cynical.
You present your points to me, and I'll say which one I agree with. Why do you think it's a dirty scam?
If you buy DayZ, first of all, like early access is a lot of the games on there are kind of unplayable or broken to the point where they shouldn't be available. Like you shouldn't be charging for it. Like DayZ, for example, you go on is about 20 quid or something to buy the early access. On the Steam page, it says this game is in as many words. It says this game is broken. Do not buy this game. If you buy this game, expect to have a really shitty play experience.
Don't come crying to us.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you're putting out these games which are unfinished. You're charging for them first of all, and in my mind, it's like you're polluting the discussion around them. Like if I go into DayZ and I play it for the first time, I'm newbie, don't know really about it, and I keep hearing about this DayZ game. I go in there, buy it. It's not like it doesn't flag it up as early access. It doesn't say, it's not a big red banner flashing.
You're buying it from something called early access, though.
But like most people will see the picture. But the thing is, like if you go to the front page, it's on the carousel, a big picture of DayZ, and early access is somewhere small written nearby. Most people will see the big picture, click it, and think, yeah, this is the game, I'm buying it. So if you buy that game, it doesn't flag it up as unfinished in any like glaring ways. So if I buy that game as a newbie, play it, and it's completely broken, and then I go around, my impression of that game is like shut on now. It's rubbish.
But I think
and a lot of the games are just unplayable.
But
so
really bad.
The whole point of early access, right, is to put these in development games into the hands of players and have them shape the direction of the project.
That's
I mean, it's inspired by Minecraft, basically, because that's what happened with Minecraft. People were playing it while it was in development. So stuff like DayZ and stuff like Rust and stuff like Project Zomboid, the idea is it's the very earliest stage of the game's in. You get people in to play it, and they shape the direction that the project goes. You look at the plus side of that is that the alternative is you're paying like between 5 and 15 quid to help shape a project. The alternative is to pay 40 quid for a Kickstarter, judging on some words and some screenshots. And the game might come out in 2 years' time and it'll be dog shit, but you've paid for it. Or at least this way, you can get in early and you can help shape the project. That's something like the new Bugbear car game that's on there that just looks incredible. It's basically a tech demo. But people can go in and say what they want from it and kind of experience the development path as it goes on.
I like that.
I don't like the monetization part of it, because there was a time when this used to happen. This happened. This is not a new thing of people being given early access. That's a beta. That's an alpha. Yeah. Why does Steam have to charge for it? Like, because
it funds the development. It's the whole idea of Kickstarter. It's not like, hey guys, have a freebie. I mean, if you did it for free, it'd be all negative. It would be, come and play an unfinished game which we know you're going to have negative thoughts about, and then tell everyone that it's shit. That's not going to go very far along. They need it to fund the project. It is like a Kickstarter that you play, basically.
Yeah, but it doesn't like...
I like that idea.
I don't know. I just don't like the fact that it's monetized, and I don't like the fact that you could be paying. You're paying for something which is like... That's so far out. Like DayZ,
if you buy, as long as you're going in and you know what you're getting, that's fine. Like if they were saying, "Oh, this is a finished game," and they were tricking people, fair enough. But they're not tricking people.
But it's really, how's it different from a pre-order that you get to play while it's going on?
I was going to say, if you buy a game on early access, do you then have to pay for it again when it comes out?
No.
Well, there you go. Well,
there's some games which it kind of makes sense to me. Like DayZ is one of them. I brought that up as an example, but it makes sense to me. That's a massive, massive undertaking. But like if you go to Steam. Early access and Greenlight and stuff like that, it's just full of shit. Like it gives people excuses to make this cobbled together piece of crap and put it out there and say, no, it's early access. It's like it's not that far off from Kickstarter, in which they have this base concept which they can make it sound amazing. Yeah, and they just put some small part of it, and people will buy it based on the premise, not on the actual execution. And then you've got this shit game which the developers might not be capable of making into the vision that they originally had, and people are giving money to it, not really.
But at least people get to try it.
At least you get
to I do prefer early access to Kickstarter. At least with early access, people who do spend money can then say, by the way, this is shit. Whereas with Kickstarter, it is we are basically chucking your money at them and just hoping that it
we
ends
should
up being
say
good.
though there are signs of cynicism creeping in. I mean, obviously there's been a lot of fuss about Ubisoft sticking Ghost Recon Online on it this week, and that game's been in beta for like 2 years, and they've got crap tons of money, and they don't really need it.
There are some games which it does work for, and is like you can. The lesson from it is be very careful with what you're buying. Like DayZ is good. There's an actual good development team behind it, or a development team that has shipped products. And there's a publisher like Bohemia, I think it is, the Armour guys. They've made a few games, and this game is big enough that it's like too big to fail. So they've clearly got incentive to make it good. But like be careful, because you see some games on there that I look at and I'm just like, this is just, if someone pays for this, you know they're going to be disappointed at the end.
Do you think the success of DayZ means there's going to be a lot of other people trying it?
That's
exactly
what's happening.
A sort of DayZ chain, if you will. There we go. Moving on.
Get out of the room, man.
Minecraft.
It's kind of, it comes from modding culture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where they just get people playing it, get it working, get people playing it, and listen, like Counter-Strike, like I think 15 years ago.
I like that. It's like a sort of kickbox scramble thing. That's all the stuff that's like all the stuff I love about Oculus Rift. Like people just developing these crazy ideas and be like, I've been to a couple of like dev meetups with the Oculus Rift stuff where they've got these people just making games in their bedroom and like just chucking them out there. Like some people saying, oh, when's it going to be? When I've witnessed a guy go into him, oh, when can I buy it? And he's like, you've got USB, I'll just fucking give it to you now. Like, and they, I just like this idea of this like sort of culture, and it seems like that's sort of what they're going.
That's what it currently is. Maybe that's what I started off, but it seems like the successes, stuff like DayZ, stuff like Rust, is very quickly going to pollute the waters, and it's going to turn into another way for people who want to be exploitative to get money out of people very easily. Like I said, it's like at the moment stuff like Rust is great, but once like the Ubisoft have done it now, I'm not call judgment on it or anything like that, but you can expect that kind of thing happening a lot more, and a lot of the discussions I see about early access are starting to turn on it, and they're like, what is this kind of, this is turning into
but
a
at the same
monster.
time, Valve's talking about phasing it out already this morning.
We're talking about Greenlight, aren't they?
I was talking about Greenlight, I beg your pardon, they are, Greenlight just,
I
don't
to be a bit
irrelevant.
It's a total waste of time.
Yeah, it's just turned into like an app store kind of thing now, isn't it? Where it's just all kinds of bollocks all over the place. Like.
See, now that's something to argue about what it will become. Because the quality control on the App Store is obviously garbage, and you can't find anything. That's actually quite scary. The idea of the flood of clones turning up on Steam.
I think I'd be less like hostile towards early access if they made it a little more obvious that you are buying an unfinished. Like I want a big banner that says early access on the game page, so that there's.
Did you buy something by mistake? Is this
no,
what
no,
this
not
is about?
really. But I can no. It's
He's
just like,
protecting the ignorant.
I can see it happening. Like in my brain, the scenario has played out loads of times where like my younger brother goes on there and sees this thing and he's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but people are fucking idiots. Though.
Yeah, but like at a certain point, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like Valve needs to take more steps to show that this is clearly an early
help
access.
the idiots.
So idiots will still buy and go, why is it broken?
At this point, like there's enough ambiguity that people could mistakenly buy it. That's what I want to eliminate. Like you shouldn't be buying demos basically and alphas. So yeah,
I don't mind. I like the idea.
Yeah, but I did play DayZ on there. Like I downloaded DayZ and Rust just to try them.
DayZ is like the chat roulette of games.
Yeah, it really is.
I like it.
The thing is, like,
chat roulette or DayZ?
If he could incorporate more chat roulette stuff into DayZ, I'd be at home right now.
The thing is,
wearing something inappropriate.
It's a lot. I like watching DayZ more than like playing it, and I like watching the bits where people have condensed all the gameplay down to a certain event that happens.
It's like basically watching the Big Brother highlight shows. You're not going to sit and watch a live feed all day, but I'll watch the half an hour. I'll watch the half an hour with someone who shits in the sink.
Like there's a lot of downtime in between it because I spawned in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. I was like, I have to run across this massive field towards what looks like a hut, and when I got there, it was just a stone. I was like, bollocks. I ran for 20 minutes, to get there.
That was a big stone.
I'd watch that Let's Play just for the payoff at the end. Like, ooh, I can't wait to see what's in this hut. Oh, it's fucking rock.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And then sometimes you'll run across someone.
Maybe I get some beans.
But fuck all. It's like, and every so often you have to. It's one of those. It not reminds me, but it's almost like a hipster game. It's like you walk up, you need to try and figure out what happens, like infer stuff. Like I was walking down a road and there was just a couple of dead bodies there, and like the hipster guy would be like, "Oh, there's so much environmental storytelling here." And I was like, "Fuck knows what happened. This guy probably just spawned and got shot, and he just left." I was like, "That is boring as fuck." I didn't get to see that happen.
I've hardly touched it. What's the coolest stuff you can get in the game? Like, you're not just running around looking for B. I mean, is there going to be a dude like running around who's like managed to find end-game rocket launcher or something?
No, there's nothing like that. It's all like emergent storytelling, like the biggest.
So there's no cool loot you can get.
Not really. The loot you can get, like everyone. When I was in there, and all the videos I've seen, is everyone seems to be talking about this Mosin. I think it's called the Mosin Nagant, which is like a sniper rifle, a bog standard sniper rifle. It's DayZ. In DayZ, like it's mundane to the max. Like if you get a pistol, you are a baller. Like you are a bad man. Like
if you get a Lakers jersey with that pistol,
that's how it is. Like if you get a pistol, you are a bad man for about an hour until someone.
They should put like vehicles in it. I just want to see the look of the guys running around in their pants thinking they're gods with their little penknives. And then someone rolls around the corner in a Jeep they found.
It's all about story. Like the biggest, like the most impressive...
It's making your own fun, isn't it?
Yeah, the most impressive story was that I've read about it was the story of the newbie who spawned. He spawned on a beach and immediately a gang rolled up on him, like fully armed. And they walked up to him. They're like, on your knees. And if you press like F4, you get on your knees and you put your hands behind your back. And they basically... turn him into a slave. They turn him into a scout, and they were like, "What we've got is we've got the sniper. He's always going to be trained on you. If you move, you are dead. If you do anything if you do anything other than what we tell you to, we will shoot you." And then what they did was they went around to like encampments.
A road.
Yeah, they went around into encampments and like different fortifications, and they used him as a scout because he's a newbie. They'd send him in, and then they tell him, "Look,
just in his pants.
See, tell us who's there, how many people are there, what resources they have." And then come back, and then he'd scout.
But
if
you die as a newbie, don't you just spawn again as a newbie?
You spawn as a newbie, yeah. But this
you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, but
I'll just go in. I'll scout it. Go in there, find an
in
axe,
this scenario, he was like,
out.
in this scenario, he was like, I'm just going to see where this goes. So he was kind of like seeing how far it goes, and eventually, like they used him as a scout. He would go in, like check it out, come back, report back, and they'd weigh up whether they want to storm it and see if they can take it over. And eventually, he did it for long enough that they let him become one of the gang, and then they found another newbie, and they started basically doing it to him, and it's shit like that. And there's like
stonecutters.
Yeah. And it's just like the emerge. Like, have you seen the firefighter one?
Yeah.
There's like a video of a guy who's like he runs into another guy, and the guy is like taking him at gunpoint, and he's looking through his stuff and robbing him, and out of the corner, all you see is this guy, normal guy with a fire extinguisher, come running in like, get the hell away from him.
Going,
get away from him. And he's just like, oh, dude.
It's like Benny Hill for the next like 5 minutes.
He's
like chasing him with a fire extinguisher.
And this guy doesn't want to shoot him. He's like, he thinks like he's mental or something. He's like, look, I don't want to shoot you. And this firefighter, he's basically like a vigilante. He calls himself a firefighter. And then he'll rescue people and then just run off into the distance with his...
I love how at the end when they finally take the guy out, he's like, oh, thank you so much. He's like, it's no problem for a firefighter like me.
I love
and then he looks up into the sky and he goes, away, and he runs off.
See, that's the kind of stuff I like.
But the thing is, it will take you about 5 hours to get to that.
Yeah, to find a fire extinguisher.
Bits and bobs are few and far between, but I quite like the idea of walking around and making your own lore, making your own fun and stuff like that.
If you want that kind of experience, I can tell you a way to kind of increases the chances, increase the chances of running into stuff like that. And it's such a horrible thing, and it explains like it describes what kind of people are playing it. And be a woman, pick the female character, and then just go around in the world, and you attract way more attention than I think you would like.
Especially with a man's voice.
Because I picked the female. I picked the female, and at one point I had like 3 guys just following me for no reason, whatsoever.
What's wrong with this world, man? Do you think there's people still working on PlayStation Home?
No, it's
There's an
popular.
update. There's an update on it.
It's really good. Like, no,
is it actually?
It's not really good.
You guys joke, but PlayStation Home's going to be awesome when they turn the permadeath on.
Yeah.
We should do it. We should look.
They need to do like a apocalypse.
Quick, let's all meet up in the wipeout zone.
I'm going to load up PlayStation Home tonight and see what the situation is, because the last time I tried it was when
about 10 years.
It's still in beta, is it not?
I think so.
It never came out in beta. It went the entire life of the PlayStation 3 in beta.
I'll save
never came out in beta.
you several hours. This is how you're going to go if you to go home and you turn it on. It's going to go updating. And it's going to stay doing that for like 12 hours.
But you go in and it tries to load the, like a Desolation of Smaug trailer in your living room for about 4 hours. Like, yeah, it's so immersive.
They talked it up as a big like revenue stream for them, didn't they, for a while back?
Fucking idiots buying baseball caps for like £8 and stuff like that.
It's mental.
So that's the people you need to be worried about, not people who are downloading stuff on early access, like by mistake, or like, oh no, this isn't finished games. People buying like a T-shirt in PlayStation Home for £12.
Yeah, I've got a fucking Sackboy mask. It cost me $12,000. Enjoy.
You were gonna say something there, Andy?
I was gonna. So you know DayZ, right? So we were on the subject of that, the permadeath thing. In every game that's got permadeath, there's a point where it just becomes not fun. Like I used to play Star Wars Galaxies, and there was like the end game character was a Jedi character, and there was only 3 on each server. So they're ultra rare, but they had permadeath, and it was just like it seemed like such an awesome idea. Yeah. Like the most powerful character on the server would have to, look after himself because he's got permadeath. But it comes to a point where it's not fun, and they did reinvent the whole game. They changed it. Yeah. At what point have you been playing DayZ for like 40 hours and you've got awesome stuff? I mean, stuff like spawning into the game, what protections they give you from like, I've just spawned like next to a bear cave or something.
There's no bears in the game.
I know,
as far as I know.
but you see my point.
What
protection do they give you?
I think you can like. I think once you log out, once you save a character and log out, you're safe.
I mean, is there like a timed period of invincibility or what?
Not really.
Because in any online game, if you're just spawning into the world, you do that over the course of a couple of weeks. One time you're going to spawn and die.
No, I think I played it across 2 sessions, and each time I started fresh with a new character because the character before got horribly murdered. But
by a person or
by a person.
Are there actually any
one
zombies
guy ran
in
me
this game? Like I've never heard anyone talk about any
zombie
zombies
in any
the
YouTube.
game.
That's a good point. Actually.
Yeah.
They are. Wait, no, that's Rust actually. I think. Yeah, I've never seen a zombie in the
Should
game.
it just be called Day H because it's full of humans?
Yeah.
Day troll.
I think how it works is when you
Day PC Gamer seems to be the only ones playing.
I think when you log out, you're safe. You've saved all your stuff and you're cool and you're done. But you never reach a point where you're like a badass. You're always fearful that someone's gonna shoot you in the back and take. That's part of the charm. Like once you've got these rudimentary items, you're basically at the top of the food chain. But anyone else could gang up and kill you, and there's nothing to protect you from that. So if you spawn in the middle of like a firefight, which I don't know if they have protection against that. I don't think there's any way they can stop it. I don't think they care. But there's never ever a firefight. It's like people running at each other trying to throw punches and stuff like that. It's like I've never seen an actual firefight. I've just seen the aftermath of a firefight.
We should try and do this podcast
in
DayZ.
That's not a bad idea.
See
That's
how that
gonna
goes.
be funny.
Shit.
It's like I played Rust is a similar game, which is supposed to be like more Minecraft-ish, where you're crafting stuff and stuff like that. And it was a very similar experience. I appeared with just my pants on, got lured into a hut. I was telling these guys earlier, I got like some guy was in the distance and he was wearing just pants as well. I thought newbie, definitely a newbie. And he was like, hey man. I was like, hey, typing. He was speaking over the microphone, I was typing. And I was like, hey, how's it going? He's like, oh, I'm a newbie, do you want to team up? And I was like, yeah, okay.
Where did he make you touch?
He was like, oh, check out this hut I found.
Show me on the doll where he touched you.
And he goes, check out this hut I found. This was like, check it out from the inside.
Fritzl dungeon.
So I went in there. I went into the hut and I heard the door close behind me. And I turned around and he had a little hatchet. And he just murdered me in the hut. I was a dead man.
What did you say?
But then what did he say? He murdered you and what then? Took your pants?
Nothing. No, he just wanted to do that.
All right.
That's what happens.
I like that.
It was weird. Like I found this massive like castle fortress, wooden fortress thing, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I walked in there. There's absolutely nothing in there. It's just a structure. So I'm walking around and I see this other guy walking up. I was like, "Oh, I thought, he's probably going to want to explore as well." I'm very like jovial about it. I was like, yeah, come in. He came in and immediately just started running behind me and punching me in the back. I was like, fuck off, man. I'm just trying to look around. Like I wasn't even engaging him. I thought if I leave him, he's just going to leave me alone. No, he chased me and he beat the shit out of me for no reason.
And you see like Tamoor just walking through these games with the Incredible Hulk music. Like, Trying to get friends. Everyone's fucking you up.
Everyone's running up like Nicolas Cage and the working man just going, it's fucking one.
I didn't understand why you'd want to
punch
because I have
knockout.
nothing. I've got nothing. It's honestly, it would be a waste of time to
Some
kill
people
a
just
newbie.
want to watch the world burn, man.
Like the immediate thing for this guy. He was a newbie as well. He just like spawned. It's like, why would you fight me?
Fucking mugged you off, isn't he?
Like, why would you fight me? I was just like, I'm just gonna see how much of this world as I can before. I was not in I didn't want to fight anyone. I just want to look around, man. Fucking hell. But yeah, those are my experiences with those types of games. So yeah, I don't think I'll go back to DayZ for a while. I'm waiting for it to be more stable because it was buggy and laggy and I was falling through the world. There was no zombies, and people were running through houses like just straight through the models.
That seems like there are actually zombies in DayZ, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think they come out at night or something.
I don't think we could get away with calling it DayZ.
We're talking about doesn't this whole infrastructure of the game, doesn't it all rely upon the fact that there's some zombies out there that will kill you?
That's what they
People would stop trolling each other as much if they were going to be stronger by working together.
That's what it started off as, and then eventually they realized that it turned into a human drama thing where the zombies, no one even cares about the zombies anymore.
It's
like,
also
6 weeks down the line, like those people are going, guys, when was the last time I ever fucking saw a zombie? Right?
It would be awesome if
just taking the zombies out of the game. No one's knowing.
It'd be awesome if there was like a world event and there was like a massive zombie, a proper apocalypse where they just gathered and just flooded the entire server with zombies and they had to fight like DayZ. Well, what's the new zombie movie? World War Z style. Where they just like a wave of zombies falling over each other, tidal wave.
It's good though. It reminds me of sort of like early Walking Dead, like the comics. Like, because you in those you didn't see a comic, you didn't see a zombie for issues and issues and issues. Like it sort of reminds me of that. Like you sort of you get so involved in the other stuff that's going on. When a zombie comes in, you'd be like, holy shit, I forgot there's fucking zombies in this game. Like, and it's the same with the early Walking Dead. You just go, oh, like everyone's arguing about, cheating on each other and stuff like that so much. They just go, oh shit, yeah, there's a zombie over there.
Yeah, but based on my experience, the human drama element of DayZ is naked dudes
people just mugging you off for the sounds of things.
Exactly. So it's not at all like early Walking Dead. There's no like complex characters. It's just dudes in pants frying fish.
You up.
I do remember that great episode of Walking Dead where they walk for 20 minutes to find a stone.
Fucking hell, there's like worse shit happening than that in the second series. So you're looking for that little girl for about half the series. And it's like, oh yeah, she's a zombie. Great.
Oh, she's in the barn.
Yeah.
So that's early access. Like I said earlier, there's not much going on like in release wise this month, but there's some quite big games coming out next month, and we've got a short list here, handily compiled by Andy, which includes Tomb Raider, Fable Anniversary, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Rayman Legends.
I can't believe you're dissing Dr. Luigi like that.
Thief,
no big releases.
Dr. Luigi. Lightning Returns, Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare, and Castlevania. So
Wolf Among Us.
I want to know what you're excited about. So Wolf Among Us.
Definitely
that finally got a release date.
Yeah,
or a release window.
But did you see? So they said it's going to come out the early February. There was some really cryptic lines from Telltale about it. They were like, "Oh, we won't go into it, but the reason it's been so long, because was it like November last time? October,
it's been
November,
good few months.
Like it's been ages, and they've obviously released the second chapter of Walking Dead as well, which I was not excited about at all. I was way more excited about Wolf Among Us now. Like, and it was an awesome first chapter as well. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was excellent.
But yeah, it was a really sort of weird wording. They were like, "We're really sorry this taking so long. Won't take so long next time." But yeah, some things happened.
It's like he was almost like told to just pretend there's a problem.
Do you think?
And just like that's what it read like. It was like we've had a big problem. Yeah. It's this is the only time this problem is going to happen, and we're not going to tell you what the problem was.
Right.
Like,
we all went away for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all drank a shitload of sherry. And we forgot how to make games. But yeah, I'm well excited for that. I thought the first...
He said, this is one of those occasions where several things conspired against us. I won't dive into the details, but it's been an unusual and specific set of circumstances, and we do not anticipate it happening again as we go forward with the rest of the season.
For 11 months.
Yeah, Christmas party.
That's weird, isn't it? That's a really strange...
It's very
conspired is always a dodgy word to use.
Yeah. That's what I like about Telltale. Like, they're still quite a small sort of, even though they're huge.
I'm worried about them. I'm really worried about them because when I care about a few of their properties like Game of Thrones Wolf Among Us,
Yeah.
Fables, and Walking Dead. And I keep seeing them taking on additional projects, and it's like...
But they've definitely got a B team, right? The guys who do like Jurassic Park and stuff.
and stuff like that. But I don't know if that is their A team, because when they were working on Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, they weren't really working on anything else at the time. Those were the big things for Back to the Future. So that might be their A team working on it. And then they realized it started off really well, and then it went like it's not great after that. But I'm worried about...
Fair play to them for even making the press releases like puzzles, though. Because that's just fucking try to figure out what they're talking about. It's just like point and click.
I like them as a studio, though. I think the stuff they're going after is really, really good. I think, Game of Thrones will be huge for them. Like, absolutely massive.
But I
it's a really smart business plan. It's it's an interesting talking point, actually, about how 10, 15 years ago, games the charts would have been dominated by licensed crap, basically. Whereas because the bottom fell out of that market so spectacularly, you can now pick up like older film and comic licenses for like nothing, absolutely nothing. It's like the easiest thing you'll ever do.
Oh, man,
like there was a game on XBLA. It was based on. Do you remember that film? Was it Battlefield LA?
Oh yeah, and there was a game
based
on that.
Yeah, there's a game. They made it in 6 months. It was a couple of hours long, like FPS. It was sort of alright. Like, it was nothing special. Put it on XBLA, and it made more money than like Trine and all these big releases. Just because it was a license, just picked it up for nothing, pumped out a game.
There was an interesting strategy behind that. You explained this to me a while back in terms of it was used by the studio. It was made by the studio that went and did Halo Anniversary, wasn't it? And they used that as a kind of like testing grounds for their technology. Was that it?
Well, I'd like to see what people who made. I'd like to see what the people who made the Pacific Rim game end up doing, because that was fucking dog shit. Yeah. Did you play that one?
I like the idea of Telltale, though, like sort of taking this like license thing. It's almost like interesting what they did with the Lego games, and like Lego games have become like some awesome sort of movie tie-ins.
I mean, just to prove my point now, I mean, 10, 15 years ago, EA, like the biggest players, EA and Activision, would be like, arm wrestling over James Bond. Whereas I reckon Telltale could probably pick that up for bugger all now. Oh, did they actually say that?
Yeah.
They want to do Bond.
It's just how the bottom has fallen out. Stuff like that would have been massive in the early 2000s, like Harry Potter as well.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, they
Harry Potter's a really good one as well, because you've obviously got all the books and stuff to work from, and they seems to, they're quite good with the source material.
It seems like
them doing an X-Files game, that would be
they're very. What I like about them,
I could get the X-Files license as well.
What I like about them is
just on like this week's salary.
They're obviously very selective about what they pick thus far. Like they pick this licenses and franchises that make a lot of sense. The only anomaly is Borderlands. That's the one. I think. What are they doing? I feel like why that seems like such a silly move, because firstly, that world, like, who cares about anything happening in that world?
I do.
Borderlands.
Part of me likes...
Like, you're really looking forward to an episodic game with Claptrap all up in your face.
Not Claptrap, but like going to like Moxie's bar and stuff like that. Some of the characters and stuff that you meet just along the way just for like a little fetch quest. Like, some of them I'd like to see way more of. Like
part of me also
living
likes...
out in the motel by himself, like the guy living in... Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good.
I don't know. I don't think, like... I don't know how much I care about like the world of Borderlands as much as I've got a gun with green.
Seems that the world of Borderlands. I know some of the characters in it are really funny. Yeah. But it seems like a means to an end. Like
at the same time,
just a world built around. Like,
exactly.
We need to have some quests and shooting some dudes and lots of guns. So we should probably put. Some
at the same time, they could be the guys that come there and turn it into an actual big thing. Like a proper good world, put some real stories in there.
I play Borderlands 2 more for just meeting characters and stuff like that than I did for playing the game, I think.
Oh, I'm not one of those people. I think that's like this.
I thought it was a good move from them, because I thought like you don't get to spend enough time with them. I thought that was really, really good, and it's one of those worlds as well where there's enough source material. This is why I guess they're going after stuff like Game of Thrones and stuff like comics that have been going for a while, because there's enough that they can take from the comics. Although they take huge liberties as well, like like
Telltale have always got a screw up in their bag though. One of those they're going to arse up.
Yeah, that's my problem. They've got so many of them. One of them has to.
Did you play any of their earlier stuff? Like I say earlier, like this generation, like The Strong Bad one, and
I played Strong Bad.
and
Strong Bad.
Tales from Monkey Island, the Wallace and Gromit one on XBLA. They've been doing. There's an XBLA Wallace and Gromit one. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that they've got so many franchises.
It's going to be Game of Thrones one they fuck up, I think.
Yeah,
I reckon.
Well, that's the one they should be definitely not fucking up.
The thing is, I reckon there's probably, from a business perspective, there's probably more riding on the Borderlands one, where Gearbox and their brand would stand to lose more if the game turned out to be rubbish, right? Whereas people are going to buy the Game of Thrones one, even if it is sort of all right.
Yeah. But Fables is excellent.
One episode,
is awesome. And I'm absolutely loving it. It's so good.
Well, that's the thing. I absolutely love Walking Dead, but one episode of Fables I completely couldn't care less.
It's just it takes the entire the beats from the interesting moments from Walking Dead and condenses it all into one episode, where you're not waiting loads and loads of time for this one significant thing to happen. Every single scene has something incredibly significant happen, because it's all about solving a mystery, isn't it? So every scene you play and every environment you walk through, there's always some progression happening to it, and it's really cool.
I thought it was really good, and I thought the look and feel was awesome. The soundtrack is brilliant as well, and the voice acting was really, really good. But the one thing that I did think I didn't quite. I spoke to loads of people who played it afterwards. Have you guys played it? It's good. You should play it. But I spoke to loads of people afterwards, and it felt to me, I was like, oh shit, I've never felt like I'd messed up more in a game, because it was because basically a murder has happened, you're solving the murder, and it asks you in a really, really early point, who do you suspect? And it flags up 5 different characters, 3 of which you haven't even met yet. So I remember speaking to Aoife on OXM, who'd done the review, and I was and I actually played through a couple of times, and I was like, oh, did I really fuck up then? Why haven't I met Blackbeard? And she was like, yeah, you don't meet Blackbeard. It's like, well, why would I suspect him then? It
does. It kind of assumes that you have knowledge of Fables.
It does, definitely.
It does a lot, but that doesn't.
That doesn't happen with Walking Dead at all, I don't think.
That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it.
No, definitely
not. Because
no.
the Blackbeard stuff, they reference Blackbeard, but you don't see him.
Tiny bit,
they talk about him and they kind of speak about him in this kind of, he's clearly not a good guy kind of way. So it's just kind of planting the idea that maybe it's someone that we haven't. Bluebeard, sorry. I've been playing too much Assassins, so I just want to...
I don't know what you're talking about.
You didn't like, Andy, you didn't like Walking Dead, did you?
No, I couldn't get into it.
You should try Wolf Among Us. You might like that. I think you would like it. It's a lot, like I said.
This is what you're talking about there. Do you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking, LA Noire is quite good, isn't it?
It's got a very similar vibe to it.
But it's just missing all the stuff that keeps you amused when things are boring.
It's quite
I can run into things and drive a car.
I'm always find myself tempted. I always go to PSN store and see the Jurassic Park game, and always think one day because it's Jurassic Park, and I know it's not meant to be very good, but just my thumb hovers over the X button to buy it, and then I don't. But one day I'm going to end up doing it.
As full circle about gaming tat though, that is the best gaming tat thing I've got for that Jurassic Park game. When Ingham was still here, he went to see it at E3 and gave me the press kit. Came in a Barbasol can, like the shaving Nedry gets.
That's awesome.
And you take the top off, and it's got the USB stick and you plug in. Awesome. And he gave me the can. That's the best bit.
Did you lose it in a stream?
Yeah. I fucking look like Nedry. I've lost some weight there.
But yeah, I think it's worth checking out A Wolf Among Us, because
it's awesome, man.
It takes concepts that you're very familiar with, Big Bad Wolf and these kind of things, and really twists.
I think it just says more about me than it does about the game, to be honest. I needed more than the narrative to grip me. I've actually tried a couple of times to get into Walking Dead, just because of the amount of praise it gets from everyone. And the bits in between, the branching kind of conversations and stuff is just where it lost me. Where at the beginning you were on the farm, and it's like, go on then, walk around and speak to people. It's like I might as well be going through some menus.
See, the difference
it's just like you're in. There's no. The world isn't dynamic in the slightest, you're just moving an avatar.
The difference
with
Wolf Among Us is all of these conversations that you have, unlike in Walking Dead, where it's just you're just doing it for emotions and that kind of thing. All of them, because you're trying to solve a murder and everyone's kind of a suspect. You kind of pay more attention to them, and you're looking into what they're saying a little more. So you're trying to figure out, what is this person saying? Are they really telling the truth?
It was like the linear stuff that lost me, right?
Yeah.
Whereas it would have been fine if I was just kept in the moment all the time, and I could just screw up and it'd branch another way. You know,
I feel like all the conversations are more meaningful in Walking Dead, in Wolf Among Us, because it's either contributing to creating the world or contributing to your core goal, which is solving the murder.
What you should do with Walking Dead, Andy, is play it on a Sunday, like hungover, like start it, but with somebody. Like I will play, and especially play with somebody who's not really into games, because that's what I did with.
That's what I did
Dead.
with LA Noire. Yeah, it was awesome.
Because they like you get more involved together and stuff like that. Then.
Yeah.
And
so that's what Gav's excited about. Yeah. Chris, what are you excited about for next month? You're quite a big Tomb Raider
Lightning
guy.
Returns, isn't it?
No, it's probably Tomb Raider for me.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know.
Old game.
I know, but it's one of my favourite games of the last.
You know, they released a video
so.
of it yesterday.
Looks nice.
That does not look like what I saw. When I looked at
really?
it, yeah, when I looked at it, I was like, that looks markedly better than what I saw.
Was it a different section or something?
No, it was similar bits. Like I played it for a preview a couple of weeks back, and it looked way better than it.
Are you accusing them of doctoring their footage, Tamoor? It sounds like that's what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm not going to say. Maybe it was just a different build of it. But when I saw it, I was like, I could barely tell the difference. When I saw that, her face looked well different.
Was it just because they were putting them side by side? I mean, when you played it, you didn't have the last gen version sat there.
I could not. I noticed small things, but it looked like.
Let's be honest. I mean, I've just played through Black Flag recently on PS4, and you know, in my mind, I'm looking and going, I wonder what the last gen version looks like, you know. But I bet if you did put them side by side, you'd be like, yeah, this is a shit ton better looking.
Maybe it is that.
I don't know. I played the 360 version of Black Flag. Looks fucking gorgeous as well. Like I don't think there's that much difference between them.
The PS4 one looks really nice. Apart from like there's occasional bits where stuff goes really, really, really wrong. Like I was in the middle of a really important like cutscene in game engine, and in the background there's like a group of people, and they're just walking around in small circles, concentric, like all together in a circle. It looked like some sort of synchronized dance thing. So this is really weird. It's distracting. It's taking all the like dramatism out of all this shit that's going on.
I had a guy stuck on my boat when I played the preview thing. I had a guy, you know, like one of the guys overboard, you can say. I thought, I'll go into him, get him. Like, drove into him, but he was stuck, like, right in the middle of my boat. So he was just, like, his arms and his legs just kicking, like, as if he was still underwater, but I could just drive him around. So it was, like, had him, like, one of those little statue things on the front of my boat. And he's like, whoa! And every now and again you just hear, whoa!
There's a bit where, you know, when you board someone, you board someone's ship, you fight them. And one of the assassinations I did, I was boarding someone and it's like killed this captain guy. Yeah. And if you're standing next to the edge of the boat, he does this like punch and he does like a push kick where he'll kick them like away from you, and that counts as assassination. But I did it at a point where there was a break in the like the barrier around it, so it was just like to the sea, and he booted him and he went flying off it like into the distance. I was waiting for it to go bing. He just went miles. I was like, that was dramatic. And the funny thing is, in the next cutscene, it fades to black as it's happening, and then he's on the floor and you're speaking to him. And I was like, no, you just kicked him into space. There's no way you can speak to him. But yeah, Andy, what are you excited about next month?
Valentine's Day. What's coming out again? FIFA will be quite good. I'm looking forward to that. Well, I don't know if it's going to be good or not. We're actually Dan Griliopoulos, who contributes quite a bit for us, is off playing it today. Right. He's playing it for 5 hours.
For review?
No. So it's kind of like the final hands-on. So we'll find out whether it's crap or not. Because that's quite interesting. It's out in like 4 weeks or something. And we've not really seen much of it.
You think alarm bells ringing slightly?
I don't know. I like the idea they're making it. I loved Deus Ex.
How much of Dishonored did we see before that game came out? I don't remember.
Exactly. I've not given up on it yet. I think it could be a big surprise gem. I'm looking forward to playing it. Let's put it that way. Donkey Kong, I'm looking forward to playing.
Donkey Kong.
I picked up Donkey Kong in Nintendo's crazy
5-minute sale.
Yeah. I did that, and I've been playing it for the last few days. It's good fun, that game. I really like the lack of pressure. Like, there's no time on the levels, whereas in Mario 3D World,
nows as well.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
It's easy on 3D.
You play noob mode.
I wasn't paying attention.
They
put in lives and stuff, or like you take damage. But I was just hitting go, and it just selected it.
It was solid on Wii.
Yeah, it was difficult on Wii.
Hard. Like to the point where it was like I was on like the 3rd level, and I was like, I have to be able to get past this. Surely. It was so
have a little
hard,
cry.
Man.
Yeah, because I played
Talking about that Nintendo sale, though, what do you think about that?
That was,
you know, it was a genuine mistake?
For people who missed it, because we didn't cover it because it was over so quickly.
Yeah.
Basically, people on Twitter suddenly noticed that Nintendo were selling off the likes of Animal Crossing and Donkey Kong
Wonderful
Country Returns,
101,
101 for
Pikmin
like
3.
for like $7.99
quid,
and
£8,
$8.99 on their sale, the download codes. So everyone just jumped on and went and totally rinsed it.
Yeah.
And then within 20 minutes, half an hour, Nintendo put all the prices back. It was clearly a mistake.
It was a mistake,
Yeah.
but it
But
probably
it
shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that should be a court, like that should be their sign.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what I'm
hoping-
hoping.
I'm hoping
That's
someone
what leads me
somewhere-
to think that it's not a mistake. That someone's gone, look, I've got this idea. Let's just see if we get some interest.
Because I'm
out of
hoping
it.
that I've been playing the scenario out in my mind that in Japan someone's going fucking mental saying this is a because it was Nintendo, somewhere in Nintendo Europe must have
yeah.
put a switch and said I can't believe you've done this, blah blah blah, and then sat and having to think about it and said actually when you look at these figures, when you look at these
more Japanese, that's not
said,
Japanese.
actually when you look at these figures, there's a fucking massive spike in that half an hour period. If we extended that over a week, we'd actually probably do all right out of it.
I was gonna say they are all Nintendo games, but they only sell Nintendo games on the Nintendo thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's gonna have a whole another podcast of rant if we get into this too much.
Yeah.
But it's kind of baffling that they don't have their own PS Plus alternative anyway,
Yeah.
because they would shift some machines if they were
Like,
giving
you've gotta
away
do it-
free
like,
games.
PS Plus is just incredible. I've only recently just got a Vita, and it's just like, you really take advantage of it then. Like,
Maybe
it's
there's
just
some
insanely
reason that
good.
Nintendo don't do it. I mean, it's not as if they've got like a particularly large back catalogue, is it?
Microsoft's
know?
chance of it, like, do
PS
you want to
Plus
download
is-
Halo 3?
it's
No,
amazing.
It's not as if they've got like 30 years of classic games
Yeah,
that they
exactly.
enjoy selling again and again.
Well, it's like I was saying in last week's one. I don't know if you heard last week's one. And I was saying Nintendo
Netflix.
should introduce a Netflix style, but not like a Netflix, like the same service that they did with the karaoke thing and their sports thing, where you pay say a $5 for 24 hours access to their entire virtual console catalogue. So if you want to have like a retro night with your mates or whatever, because you're not going to spend £4 on Balloon Fight and play it for forever. You give them a $5 and you
But
get
you
24 hours.
I've bought Balloon Fight more times than I care to reveal.
Yeah.
That's because you just like supporting your water.
Yeah.
But PlayStation Plus is amazing, but at the same time, I think it's stopping me from actually buying their games, because I never what was their Tearaway?
I'm
not buying.
It'll be on PS Plus later.
Yeah, I'm not buying
that's a good
Tearaway
point.
because I know it's going to appear on PS
you
Plus.
know for a
very
fact
soon.
NAC is 3 months down the line.
Yeah,
going to appear
exactly.
on
I don't think
PS
they're
Plus.
particularly bothered though, because
No.
they'll be getting the regular income.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so my big games for next month are Thief as well, which I love stealth games, and obviously that one's all about stealth. But also Castlevania, Lords of Shadow 2. That's going to be
Under the
a big
radar,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. Like, it looks, based on the previews, it looks amazing. It looks really good. The last one, if you haven't played it, is well worth tracking down. It's the only.
Maybe it's the time of year, because we're not hearing anything about these games.
I'll tell you what
Like-
I'm quite looking forward to, which I might get scolded for. I reckon that Plants vs Zombies shooter looks quite good.
When's that out?
It's out next month.
Is
I
it?
mean, watch some videos, right? I mean, because I wasn't really, looking forward to it. It wasn't really on my radar.
Yeah,
but
that's like
I watched some
decent.
of the recent gameplay footage and I thought, that looks all right. Like, I mean, it's a pretty generic shooter, deathmatch online shooter
Team
in terms
Fortress,
of structure. But the presentation's so, kind of different. That it's almost just like a pleasant conduit to get you back into something that looks quite enjoyable. Like, there's lots of different character classes and they're like bonkers zombies.
Yeah,
Time
it does look
specific.
good.
One of them's got like a dolphin gun that shoots at
I
fish.
tell you what I don't
When
understand.
it shoots, it goes. "Nah."
I tell you what I don't understand. It's not a major thing, but Russell Brand clearly does a voice in it. When they showed the
They've still
trailer
not
at E3,
announced
it's been, and considering how much he was in the news, like the last couple of months when he was talking about you shouldn't vote and all this kind of stuff, that was the perfect
But
time
is
to
it definitely
EA.
him?
Yeah, it
Oh,
sounds
it's
like. I remember
100%.
when they announced it. And
Well, when
me
they
and
announced
Chris
it, the
were
guy
like,
said,
is
you may recognise the voice, and then it was like, that's fucking Russell Brand. I can tell instantly that's Russell Brand. So I listen to his podcast and all that, like religiously. Well, that's definitely Russell Brand, and they've just not fucking
Maybe
done
it's
it.
not.
It's like, who else?
That's
would
the
it
only
be?
explanation for them not saying it.
Yeah.
I
is weird.
don't know who if it's not, it's someone doing.
Well,
like,
maybe
a
it's the fact
perfect
because he
Russell
was
Brand
in the
impression.
news talking about how no one should vote for anyone and
Yeah.
that stuff. So maybe they were like, oh, maybe we shouldn't announce that he's.
I would have thought that'd be the perfect time to do it while he's in the public eye. Though, by the way, he's in our game.
But that's the
If
thing,
you-
though. He's not in the public eye for anything.
Yeah, nothing
particularly,
good. He's not-
No, he's. I mean, it depends.
Well, he's got his
but it
comedy
depends on
thing.
which way you look at it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, he's either amazing or he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So they, if they go,
It's like it's not full price either. That game, I think it's like what 20-30 quid
Yeah.
or 30-40 quid.
And
might
if it
be.
comes out and it's good, it'll probably based
I
on
reckon that might be a little sleeper hit,
Yeah,
especially
based
if
on-
it gets cheaper and cheaper. I
based
think
on
it looks
the-
quite cool.
based on the current stability of other AAA shooters. If that comes out and it works on day one and it's half decent, it'll probably be the best first-person shooter next gen on the market. Because Battlefield is utterly fucked, and Call of Duty is boring as hell. So
is it first person or is it third person?
Oh, is it third person?
It's third person shooter.
Yeah.
Oh, shooter.
Yeah,
They're all the same. Shooty,
Exactly.
bang bangs. But yeah, it'll probably be one of the I think it might actually be a good.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it
looks
does
fun.
look decent.
It reminds me of Team Fortress.
It does, yeah.
It's very it makes sense. Class-based shooter. You get these different classes of plants and zombies, and you're good to go.
So
Yeah. So that's your big game for next month as well. Then
Big game.
Oh, it's one of the
Just
things. It could be the sleeper hit.
Fairly pleasant about the idea of it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's gonna come to I'm looking forward for the lull to come to an end now. I want to play some games. I'm done with it.
well, we've also don't forget we also got Last of Us DLC next month.
Oh yeah,
as well.
is that next month?
14th of February.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
we've confirmed it for Valentine's
I
Day.
have to plug my PS3 in.
All
Again.
right, my missus isn't going out at all then.
She's gonna sit
Dress
at home
yourself up
and
darling.
watch you.
You're going out.
She's gonna still watch you get depressed playing this
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic game.
with that, I can't remember his name. The bloody soundtrack, just strings.
Yeah.
Just
Starvo something. But yeah, I think that wraps up our podcast for today. Thank you for joining us, Gav.
It's all right. It's good, isn't it?
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it's really fun.
You don't look convinced.
No, it was really good fun. I like that. I like talking about games.
Will you be making a return soon?
If you'll have me, yes.
We will not have you. But thank you.
Put it
for
out there and take it away.
Thank you for joining us. Please follow us on Twitter at CVG_news. Visit our website, cvg.co.uk. You can find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Gav, what's your Twitter? Follow me.
At Cymrogav, CYMROGAV.
Just search for Gavin Murphy in the search
Yeah.
box.
It's
Welsh. Welsh
CYMRO.
Gav.
Freaky deaky.
Yeah. Chris is
Yeah.
Scully 1888.
Yep.
Andy is SBO1, and I am at Tamoor H.
Yay.
We'll see you on the Twitters. Bye.
Byes.